Good afternoon, Kimberly Panthers. This is Mr. Sally. Welcome you to another exciting edition of my Friday weekly news bulletin. It is Friday, May 10th, 2019. I am so blessed to be the principal here at Kimberly Elementary School, where we strive to build hope in action, belief in action, success in action. Please stay tuned for some important announcements that are all geared toward our school goals of creating better readers, creating better mathematicians, and creating a better school culture. I want to just talk a little bit about an incident that occurred on yesterday. Yesterday, parents, I first want to say thank you to all of my staff, especially my two administrators, Ms. Reese and Mr. Shakir, who held down the fort yesterday at dismissal when we had a slight scare. Yesterday, the fire alarm sounded at the same time that we had an ambulance picking up a student that had hurt themselves in the playground, and it was a lot going on during dismissal. Fortunately, all of our boys and girls got home safely and quickly. Our administrative team and our teaching and support staff got all of our kids out of the building, onto buses, into cars, and off of school property without any incident. And so I want to say thank you to all of them, and I want to say thank you to our parents who were very supportive during their pickup process, even when it got kind of chaotic down there at Car Riders. So I want to just say thank you for all of that, and thank you for your support. Please know that we strive each and every day to ensure that there's a safe environment here for our boys and girls. But when incidents do occur, we do have protocols. We try to follow those protocols to the best of our ability, given the chaos that may ensue. And I think our team did a great job. So again, I want to give them another round of applause, as I did on yesterday. I do want to ask your parents if you could give us some assistance as well. When we talk about student behavior, the cafeteria behavior over these last couple of weeks has really gone downhill. I've had to go into that cafeteria a number of different times. We've had a bunch of different arguments and things from kids in the cafeteria because they're not following the rules of the cafeteria, which are stay in your seat unless you're given permission to get up out of your seat, ensuring that you're keeping your hands and feet to yourself, and not taking food items from other students, especially if that item was not offered to you. And so those particular things cause there to be chaos. So I'm going to ask you, parents, if you could, please remind your boys and girls that it's important for them when they're in the cafeteria, just as if they were at a restaurant, for them to stay in their seat, talk to the people at their table, and keep their hands and feet to themselves, okay? Also, parents, I know that as we're wrapping up testing, some of you have been trying to get kids who may not be involved in testing to have them check out of school early. Please note that if we're using a classroom that your child belongs to for testing and your child is in another location, they won't be able to go into that room to retrieve their things. I know I had a couple parents who came to pick up their younger children earlier than the dismissal time, and they were a little frustrated because we were not able to allow them to get into those classrooms where we may have had 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade students testing. Please know that the testing situation is very serious, and the rules that we follow for testing come from the state, and so there's no variance that we can have to those rules. There can be no disruption of the testing environment. So unfortunately, when that happens, we will have to say, no, we can't allow your child to go into that classroom to retrieve their things. And so that just kind of is something we all have to deal with and work with, and I ask for your support in that. As we are getting closer to the end of the school year also, and we get to that last week of school, we're going to ask that on that last week of school that students do not bring their book bags to school that last week of school. So, but I'll send home flyers to remind you about that next week, to remind you about that last week. So, speaking of GMAS testing, we have actually wrapped up with all of our 3rd graders and 5th grade Georgia Milestone tests. On Monday, though, it looks as if our 4th graders will be taking the math section on Monday and on Tuesday. And then we'll have makeup testing on Wednesday and Thursday for any students that may have missed it last week because they were absent. We've pretty much been catching up on makeup testing every day, and so we may not have that many kids to make up. But I ask parents, please be mindful that we get started with testing promptly at 8:30. The school day begins at 7:30. Instruction begins at 8 a.m. But when we're testing for Georgia Milestone, that begins at 8:30 promptly. And so when your boys and girls are running late, you are holding up the entire school from getting started on testing. and I would say that's a little unfair. Please make sure that you get your boys and girls to school on time each and every day. This is their job. Just as you have to be at your job on time, our boys and girls must be at their job on time. And on-time arrival for them is 7:30 a.m. This week was National Teacher Appreciation Week for our teachers and staff, and so I hope that you celebrated National Teacher Appreciation Week along with your boys and girls. We, as a school, did a bunch of things for our teachers this week, as well as the school district also celebrated them this week. I'm actually wearing my APS 5K shirt from the 5K, which was used to raise funds for the district to fund the teacher appreciation gifts that they gave. So I hope that you celebrate your teacher. If you did not, don't worry, you can celebrate them anytime because our teachers appreciate celebration each and every day. If you have not purchased your field day shirt or your 5th grade t-shirt for our 5th grade students, that money actually was due today. Today was that last day. You may be able to turn in permission slips and money on Monday, but there's no guarantee. The field day shirts are being ordered in advance. We're not ordering extra field day shirts. There will be no shirts for sale on the day of field day, which is next Friday. We must get those orders in, and then the vendor has to make those shirts. We cannot afford to pay for additional shirts that parents don't buy. So please, if you have not turned in your money, you can attempt to send that in on Monday. If we're unable to collect it on Monday, it will get sent back home with your child. But Monday will definitely be the final day if we can take it on Monday. We have a couple other field trips that are coming up. Next week on Monday, our kindergarten boys and girls will be taking a trip to the Botanical Garden. That will be a great opportunity for them. And also our 5th grade boys and girls will be taking a trip to Bunch Middle School on the 21st, which is actually the week after next. And so I look forward to them getting an opportunity to get over to Bunch and find out all about middle school. We do have our Go Team meeting taking place next Wednesday, May 15th at 6 p.m. Parents, if you would like to come and observe a Go Team meeting, our meetings take place again next Wednesday, May 15th at 6 p.m. in the cafeteria. Our 5th graders will also be enjoying their end of the year barbecue next week, and that will be a lot of fun. That is taking place on Thursday, May 23rd. So speaking of that last week of school, I want to just let you know about all of the different awards day programs that are coming up. So as I look at our calendar, on Tuesday the 21st of May, 1st grade will be having their awards program and party at 9 a.m. and 2nd grade will be having their awards program and party at 12 p.m. When I say awards program and party, that means right after the awards program, the students will participate in their class parties. On Wednesday the 22nd, we'll have an awards program for pre-K at 9 a.m., for 4th grade at 10:30 a.m., and 3rd grade at 1 p.m. And on Thursday the 23rd, kindergarten will have their awards program at 9 a.m., and the 5th grade barbecue will take place at 11 a.m. On Friday the 24th, which is our last day of school, our 5th graders will have their awards day program at 9:30 a.m. We want to make sure that our boys and girls are here by 9 o'clock that morning, if in fact you bring them late as you're getting them ready for this occasion. And then you are able to check out your boys and girls after any of the awards day programs, okay? Also, this week, before I forget, and it would be sad if I did, we had our APS Special Olympics, and we had some award winners at our Special Olympics this past week. They were Nevaeh, Xavier, Christian, and Elizabeth. I just want to say congratulations to those young people who placed in our in the Special Olympics. Well, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to join me this week in my weekly video bulletin. If you know of anyone who is not receiving this message, please tell them to follow us on Facebook and Twitter because it's tweeted out. Make sure they're following us on Class Dojo because I place it there, and I also have it sent out on the APS app, so make sure they signed up with the APS app. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. We're Panthers who roar, respect others, own responsibility, always safe, and ready at all times.